Okay, so today is February 27th, and I thought I'd do just a little bit of an update. Picked up some more plywood the other day. Wow, was that getting expensive? I got some ACX. My store had been out of it, and they got some in overnight, and so I rushed up to the next day and picked up some sheets of 1/2 inch and some sheets of 3/4. The 3/4 is going to go in this lazarette, this bulkhead for the lazarette back here. In the 1/2 inch, well, the A side will be the out-facing side. This is the C side. But the A side will be my interior-facing side. And, I did a ladder here attached to the boat. Nice and strong. I had some guests out here the other day looking at the boat, and I had an elderly gentleman come up, and the ladder kicked out on him, and he kind of slipped and landed on his butt. But he was all right. But I just thought, well, you know what? Once in a while, me too. That ladder, 6-foot step ladder, got it standing up here, and if you don't step squarely on it, you can start tipping it over. So anyway, I built some stairs, and there's just 4 screws. 4 screws holding it in, 2 on each side, so it can come out as needed, but it's nice and sturdy. Anyway, so I've been cutting the panels for the bulkhead back here, and I can actually get plywood in back here, no problem. There's over 4 feet between the floor, the sole, and the chine there, that chine timber. So I can get plywood back in here, which was a concern of mine as I start planking. So I can get plywood back here, but I don't think that's going to be the case anywhere up in the front. So for the time being, I think I'm going to wait with finishing this back here. At least this bulkhead, at least finishing it up, because I can get plywood in here relatively easily, so it's not that big a deal. But I decided I'm going to go ahead and close this in. I'm not going to put a doorway back here, leading back through the engine room to the aft cabin. I got a couple of issues with that. The most pertinent one was, keep the cats from going through. I'm going to have a North Sea exhaust, which means the exhaust is going to come back here and tee off and go out each side of the boat. And you need to get it up above the water line, and the water line's just, the chine is going to be just underwater. If you can see the chine over there, that chine timber. So it's going to have to go up high enough that exhaust pipe is going to come across here. And I really don't think it's best to loop it, to go down and then back up again. So, so I'm not going to do that. I was also thinking about putting a little workbench back here. And if I put a door in here, I could still do it over here. But, I don't know. It's not that big a deal. I don't know how much you'd use it anyway. But, so I can work in here a little easier too. But the insulation that needs to go in here, I think I can get at it from back here, between, going from the side and then just in the engine room itself. I think I can get my insulation on. And the same thing up here now. It's a little tighter up here because I didn't leave as much room between the bulkhead and the tank, simply because I didn't need it here. I don't have that exhaust pipe going through there. But these panels, insulation panels that I've got, and I'll show them to you later, they're a fiberglass, a semi-rigid fiberglass panel. They're 2 inches thick, and they're 2 by 4 feet. So I think I can probably get those in there, get the 2 feet, up along this side from the outside, and then probably on this side from the engine room I can get the next 2 feet, and then of course this area will be fine. And I started going ahead and gluing this in, this 1/2 inch bulkhead, and then the 1 inch will go on over top of it. I was trying to debate a lot of different ways of doing this, and thinking about taking the panels down and putting the fiberglass on first, then putting it back in place, and I just didn't think that was going to be real practical. It's going to be a pain to reach in there and insulate, but I think it's going to be easier than anything else. And I got this doorway. I took this panel down and cut this out to give me a little bit wider door here. It's 26 inches now, so give me a little bit of a trim on there. You know, a couple inches of trim. It'll still give me a 24-inch doorway or hatch. I'll have to frame up here a little bit too and fill that in, but for the moment we're doing all right. And I got these two panels glued in. I didn't see any reason not. I wasn't going to start screwing these in permanently, and I thought, I should really glue these in too. So I took the screws that I had in out, glued them, clamped them in place. Got a few screws in, like on this end here. And of course I had to put some screws in the bottom because I couldn't get clamps in the bottom there. But otherwise the 1/2 inch is going to go on, another layer of 1/2 inch will go on over top of this, and I'll go horizontally with the second layer and glue it together. So it should be one relatively firm structure when I'm done. And I don't think anything up here has changed. I think you've probably seen the toilet. Gosh, I don't know what I talked about, what I didn't. But I think I'm going to put the little bathroom in here. You know, just the toilet where it's kind of like where it's sitting now, and then a sink over there up against the hull. And then this will be the doorway. The doorway coming in will be over here. The reason for that is I originally was thinking about putting the bathroom entrance from this cabin. Two problems: that one, there isn't really room to swing a door open if you've got a bed over here, and the other one is it'd be a little uncomfortable if somebody's sleeping back here and somebody else is in the boat and wants to use the head. Well, then they'd have to go into that person's cabin and while they're in there, and so I just the person that's in here, if they want to use his head, they can come out and go around. And this is not going to be a big head, just a sink and sink and a toilet. So there's that. And I did change my mind a little bit on the insulation that I'm going to use. So I was reading the specs on that foam insulation like I've got up in the ceiling here, and it just doesn't have the fire resistance that I was looking for or hoping for. So I ordered this stuff. You're not going to be able to see it very well, but this is kind of like foil faced, and then it's foam on the other side, and it's not completely, not foam, fiberglass. It's not completely rigid. It's what I'd call very much semi-rigid, but it's much more flame resistant than the foam, regular construction type of foams are. And I think what I'm going to do for attaching it. Oh, and I also decided to go ahead and put that 1/2 inch of actual foam on the wall before I put the fiberglass panels on there. And as you can see here, I bought a roll of carpet padding, and I'm going to cut that stuff up and put it on first for a little extra sound absorbing, and I'm sure it'll give me a little more keep the heat, insulate from heat from the engine room too, but primarily for sound. They gave me a deal on that roll, so they said it was a discontinued foam, and so I got a real good deal on it. So I got more than I need, so I'll be able to put some elsewhere too if I need it. And then I got some spray adhesive to get it tacked into place initially. There's some spray adhesive. I'll use that to tack it into place initially, get it fitted and cut, and then put some of that spray adhesive on there. It's a contact adhesive, and then put that 1/2 inch foam in. And then the 2-inch foam will go in, and I'm going to use, I don't know if I got any out here or not, those little plastic washers. I still got a bunch of these from when I built the building. And I'm going to screw through I bought some 3-inch screws, stainless steel screws, so I can hold the insulation on into the plywood. Got to be careful I don't go through it, but it is going to be 1 inch thick, so I should be all right there, I think. Other than that, third water tank is down here. When I put this bulkhead up here, I was contemplating what I'm going to do up here. Chain locker is going to go up here, and probably going to be a hatch. Well, there will be a hatch up there to get in there for some storage too. But then the chain locker is going to have to come down here. Since this is a crash bulkhead, I'm going to have to seal this up. I'll have to cut a piece to fit in here and seal that up. So if you ever crash into something and you smash your hull up, you've got an extra layer of defense from water intrusion. And I suppose what I'm going to have to do is make the chain locker up just a little bit higher and then enclose that in a box. And I'm thinking maybe I can run a pipe out of there with a valve on it to clean out, rinse out the chain locker on occasion. I don't know how else I'd go about doing that, but a lot of things you guys got to think about now. And I'm sure I'm not thinking of half as many things as I should be thinking of. And at some point I'm going to have to start thinking about getting the engine mounted. Yeah. It's going to be a big job too. But for the moment, we're getting this getting these bulkheads, these forward bulkheads anyway, in place. And then once those are in place, then I can start thinking about moving on to some other things, start planking, whatnot. But I really want to get these bulkheads more or less done, at least the ones up forward here, because it's going to be difficult to get sheets of plywood. Once I put planking on here, I don't have any access for 4-foot sheets of plywood other than lifting them all the way up to the top of the boat and then trying to slide them in between the deck beams there, which wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. And that would almost certainly require 2 people to do that. And I don't have 2 people, I just have me. So, get this stuff done while I can, and then we'll go from there. All right, second to last day of February 2022.